Good morning, everybody. Wake up.
Wake up, wake up.
In Provincetown. This week featuring
Wake up, wake up.
Can I have some coffee?
Wake up, wake up.
Make it strong, please. Hey. Ho. Hey.
Wake up, wake up.
Ho. No, really, can I have some coffee?
Wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up.
What's the date today?
It is the 28th of April. It's the last Friday in April, last wake up in April before the season begins. It always feels like May 1st is the beginning.
You think?
Yeah.
The season has officially kicked into high gear for me.
Yeah.
I went back to work last night.
Ugh, I go back tomorrow.
I know.
I'm excited.
It's nice.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Red Inn is back open. We spent all week getting everything put together, and last night it officially opened. I wasn't there. How did it go?
It was really fun. A lot of familiar faces, friendly faces, friends, family, regulars. There's a couple named Paul and Mary that come and stay at the inn on opening weekend. They said they were like, "This is our third year in a row doing this." They sit at the bar on the very first night. I just love people creating traditions and making memories, and being part of that is like probably the best part of our job.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like you have regulars at all places in Provincetown. It's like weird because you have regulars, but they're very much like you see them once a year, but they're still regulars.
Yeah.
Because like they're always there the beginning of July, or
Yeah,
they're always there at the end of August, Labor Day. So it's really fun.
You were busy last night.
Yeah, so I hosted the candidates forum, or I moderated the candidates forum last night. We had all 4 of the select board candidates up on stage at the Crown and Anchor yesterday. We also recorded it and streamed it live. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, you can watch it on our YouTube page or our Facebook page. It was great. Me, Amelia, and Paul moderated. They were both incredible. It was really great to meet Amelia. She did a fantastic job. And the candidates did a really good job. It wasn't as contentious as past debates. I feel like the forum we did a couple years ago, there was just more disagreement amongst the candidates, which made it a little more contentious, where the gentlemen that were on stage last night seemed to have, like, they all had their head in the same area, it seemed.
Last time it was Zoomed, wasn't it?
Yeah, fully virtual last time. This time we had multiple options of how to watch it.
Were there a lot of people in the crowd?
Yeah, I would say probably 80. Yeah, it was
Nice.
a big crowd. I think the live stream has about 150 views right now. That's just YouTube. I don't know about Facebook because I don't even know how to check. Yeah, but it was really fun. It just feels good to get everyone together and feel like everyone is trying to get involved in the community, wants to stay aware and be active in what's going on, because there's a lot of things that are affecting the way we live here and the direction in which our town is going to go.
And I think there was some concern that you guys didn't open it up to the floor to let people ask questions.
Yeah, everyone involved, we had just decided that we didn't want to do that just because we couldn't figure out a way to run that in a way that it would be fair and also not, I feel like it would have gotten out of hand.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Turned into more of a circus.
Yeah, but I think between all of us, the questions we asked, we hit all the topics that people really wanted to know about. We gave everyone an opportunity to say their piece, and it was really great. Yeah.
And don't forget, voting day is May 9th, but you can vote now. Early voting is in full swing.
I think you can vote Monday through Friday through the 5th of May at Town Hall if you're a registered voter. So get out and do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've already made up your mind. What else happened this week?
It's so funny. Like every time I come in here and I'm like, what did I do this week? And then I realize what I did last weekend, and I'm like, that seems like it was a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
But me and Bob both saw Mackenzie's 420 show, which was so much fun. It was really, really great. What'd you think?
Super fun. There were like 15 acts, and Mackenzie did a really good job of not only emceeing, but sort of like creating an overall arching story. Like at one point, she was like, plot. That's new for my show.
Right.
And there was a plot.
It was really fun. I loved her take on it. It was kind of a take on like the adventure movies of the 80s and 90s, and it was really beautiful. I liked it a lot.
That was Friday night, right?
Yeah, I I mean, I was blown away by the entirety of it, but one thing I was super impressed by was the visuals that they had.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
The
really, really,
videography
really great.
was incredible.
Mhm.
But also, so last Friday we did this show, and literally while we were talking about the house exploding in Truro, fire trucks whizzed by, and I was like, "What now?" And you
Yeah.
know, driving at a speed where you could tell that something real was happening. And unfortunately, our friend Scott Coffey's clothing shop was destroyed in a fire last Friday morning. Our hearts go out to Scott. The community, of course, as Provincetown always does, rallying together to support one of our own. And there's a GoFundMe that has already raised over $53,000
Damn.
to help Scott rebuild his life.
Yeah. I read in the Provincetown Independent that for some reason their sprinkler system didn't work, and it had like a tin ceiling, which turned it into an oven. So it's really challenging to battle that blaze. So a big thank you to our volunteer firefighters between here and Truro. I know it's on the docket to talk about a more permanent non-volunteer fire department, which even in the past week we've seen so many instances of where that would be incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
I heard there were 40 firefighters on the scene within minutes, which is outrageously impressive, especially as a volunteer department. So thank you so much for being there for us.
If you see a firefighter, thank him, hug him, kiss his feet. Like
Kink-
Malcolm. Go down to Flyers
Kinky.
and kiss Malcolm's feet.
Sure.
No, but honestly, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, and the
being
link for that GoFundMe is in the bio of our video if you wanted to donate some. It's one of those instances where it's incredibly sad when someone loses their business, but it's not just reordering merchandise for Scott Coffey. It's so much of what he sells is his own designs that he made with his sewing machine, with his own hands. And even a lot of the other products that he carries are, like, I think last summer or the summer before, I bought a Speedo that was like handcrafted by someone in Boston. Like, these are really special items that he carries. So it's incredibly sad to see those items go.
He'll be back and better than ever soon.
Yeah, he'll be back soon. I think Yates and Kennedy is going to be up and running sooner. They had much less damage, and no one was hurt, which is really great. But
And no one was hurt in that fire in Truro or explosion last week either. Like things just popping off and blowing up.
yeah. But again, thank you to our fire department. I can't say that enough.
You know.
Volunteer fire department.
Volunteer fire
Live here
department.
year-round.
Yeah, who are year-rounders who, yeah. Let's run through everything we've got going on this week. It's kind of crazy.
Big week in Provincetown.
Yeah, so Saturday night they're doing another iteration of the public drag show, this time to benefit Scott Coffey. So it'll, I think they're splitting the proceeds between the performers and the Scott Coffey GoFundMe. Next Wednesday, right here at the Provincetown Brewing Company, there.
Trace de Mayo.
Trace de Mayo, a special edition of Serve Wednesdays. It's going to be a pop-up tamale kitchen here at the brewery, run by Sam and Carmen, who are intrepid, always our two best audience members, and often our only audience members.
Babes and boys.
Yeah, so be sure to check them out. I think they're going to be on the show next week to chat about everything they've got going on.
I can't wait for them to serve up some tamales.
Yeah. Also, over the next couple weeks, we're going to have a lot of stuff coming from the Test and Treat Center with Cocktail and Jamie. They're doing their annual Update the App initiative, which is where you should get tested before summer, going into the summer, know your STI status, and you can get treated to make sure that you're not spreading that this summer. Yeah. Lakia is having a birthday performance Wednesday. Also, May 3rd, it's going to be at the post office. It's going to be featuring her, of course, and also a lot of local performers. The benefit is going to go to her pageantry. Yeah. Is that it? No, there's more.
Just Say Gay brunch.
Yeah, the Just Say Gay brunch on Sunday with all the Crown and Anchor girlies. It's Mackenzie,
Kaya.
Delta, Kaya, and Roxy.
Yes.
All singing.
Yes.
I love that.
And they were all in Mackenzie's 420 show too.
Yeah, and they blew me away. I know I've seen Delta before, but she really impressed me on.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
everyone really impressed me, but she knows how to work a stage.
Yes, she does. Owns it.
Right. Yeah.
So that's Sunday morning at the Crown and Anchor. Oh, and also the library's Moby Dick Marathon reading kicks off today, and the first reader at 10. It's at 10 o'clock, right after this show. Ann Hutchinson is the first reader
Our very own weather girl.
of the Moby Dick Marathon.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
That's gonna be tons of fun.
Yeah.
Let's do some news stories.
what's happening in the world?
Well, the media is calling this past Monday Bloody Monday when it comes to people getting
Colleagues.
Yeah, our colleagues got
Our
fired.
colleagues in the media.
So this past Monday at about 10 a.m., Fox News announced that Fox News and Tucker Carlson had parted ways. This comes in the wake of an almost $800 million settlement between Fox News and Dominion. Basically, the lies that were told on Fox News damaged the Dominion's brand, and they sued them for like some in
1.6 billion.
Yeah, and they settled for 800 million. And I think the firing of Tucker Carlson is because of that. Through the Dominion lawsuit, it came out all these private text messages and emails and conversations, and it came out that Tucker Carlson hates Donald Trump. Like that he knew what he was saying were lies and told those lies to keep viewership and also to maximize the investors' profits, which like, duh, like we all knew that. Like they're not complete idiots. They know they're telling lies.
I'm sure if you go back on this show many times, we've been like, that guy, as dopey as he is, as dopey looking as he is, I'm like, Tucker Carlson is too smart to believe everything that he's saying. We knew, everybody knew. And I think that was part of their defense. It's like, well, everybody knows that we're not like a news show. They know that we're not like really stating facts.
But they don't.
But you can't just sit up there and lie. That's an $800 million bill for lying on television.
And I guess Fox expects there to be a lot more oncoming lawsuits, which is why they let go of Tucker Carlson, just because they want to be like, oh, that guy did it, and we fired him for it. They're very much trying to save face. But along with Tucker Carlson, later that day at noon, Don Lemon tweeted that he had just been informed that he was fired from CNN. He was very upset because he's like, I've been working there for 17 years. I cannot believe that no management or higher ups felt the need to have a conversation with me about it and instead just let my agent know.
That's cold.
CNN then responded and was like, he had an opportunity to speak with management. We reached out to him to have a conversation, and rather than him having a conversation, he tweeted that.
Oh.
So.
Well, I would just like to invite Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson to come be a part of the Wake Up team.
Oh my God.
Like, a smart cable news network would hire both of them.
Oh, it's terrifying. Do you think they?
Yeah.
What if they like flop? Like Don Lemon becomes like the liberal perspective on Fox News, and Tucker Carlson becomes the crazy conservative on CNN.
We'll see. I mean, they're gonna land somewhere. Like Tucker Carlson was the #1 rated news.
He's gonna do
program
like a
for years and
YouTube
years.
show or something. He's gonna come for our gig.
Or run for president.
Oh no.
See, watch what you ask for, people who are applauding his firing. He's gonna end up somewhere worse. I'm calling that right now.
That's terrifying.
I know. Vice President Tucker Carlson.
Yeah. Another thing that happened this past Monday, which contributed to kind of the idea that it was Bloody Monday, was two marketing executives at Anheuser-Busch stepped down in light of the Bud Light controversy, if we want to call it that. So this is on the heels of Dylan Mulvaney posting a video of her receiving a special package from Bud Light, which featured her face on a can. Initially, Bud Light after the backlash from conservatives against this, Bud Light released a statement basically being like, we did this intentionally, we include everyone, and that I thought that was really nice. And then the president of the company kind of backtracked and said that we never intended to be a part of a discussion that divides people. We are in the business of bringing people together over a beer. But like, Bud Light is not doing the dividing. Dylan Mulvaney is not doing the dividing. It's the conservatives that are doing the dividing, and now you're bowing down to them. You are allowing this division. You are endorsing the division. Like, you're not bringing people together over a beer. You're allowing people who have this hate to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Does that mean you're going to give up Bud Light Lime?
I don't know.
I know it's your favorite.
I mean, just a big reminder that corporations and companies don't do activism, they only do marketing. Right. They're not, the only reason they sent that to Dylan Mulvaney is not because they support trans people, it's because they thought supporting trans people would make them money. It's the only reason, let's be real. And remember that as June approaches, when all of these companies switch their logos to rainbows on Twitter.
I mean, poor Kid Rock, what does Kid Rock have left to drink or eat? Like, every company has like a gay pride promotion.
Right. Bummer.
Chick-fil-A.
They can eat
Oh
Chick-fil-A,
my God.
yeah.
Oh, do you remember last week when the Stop and Shop pulled all the Chick-fil-A sauces off the shelves?
I do because, so a friend of mine was like, oh, I went to Stop and Shop and saw Chick-fil-A sauces, and then I went back the next day and noticed that they were gone. And then I saw that someone had posted about it, and I guess someone was like, oh, we shouldn't carry that, we're a queer community, which, yes, I agree.
So you stocked up before they took it all away?
No, I don't eat Chick-fil-A. But I had to, and I know this person who posted this had their mind in the right, they were moving in the right direction, but she said it was activism at its finest. And I don't know if getting some creamy Chick-fil-A sauce pulled off the shelves at Stop and Shop is necessarily activism at its finest. I had to lol, you know?
Listen, in Florida, you can't say gay. In Provincetown, you can't say Chick-fil-A. And I'm okay with that. I'm very proud of our community for stripping the shelves of that presumably delicious creamy sauce. I've never had it. I don't know what it tastes like. I guarantee you anything you can get at Farland is better than what was in that jar.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Agreed. There's been a couple presidential nominees in the news as of late. A few weeks ago, Donald Trump, which we all knew was coming, announced that he was going to run for the 2024 candidacy, regardless of the allegations against him and him being indicted. But this past week, Joe Biden announced his 2024 run. He had been hinting that he was going to run for a while, but he announced it this past Monday. He said, when I ran for president 4 years ago, I said we were in the battle for the soul of America, and we still are. His video announcement did feature Ron DeSantis and Marjorie Taylor Greene and called them MAGA extremists.
They are.
Yeah. I'm just like very not excited for it to be Trump versus Biden again.
A rematch for the ages.
I don't think anyone is excited to vote for either of them. I think it's kind of an odd choice. Obviously, the DNC has a hand in picking the candidates or encouraging candidates, and I think running an 80-year-old who has a 36% approval rate is a weird choice. It's the oldest. He's currently the oldest sitting president, and he will be the oldest nominee for president, which people have opinions about.
And also, he said the first time that he ran that he wouldn't run for re-election.
Right. I think they're having trouble. I think the DNC, like, in line with us having him being the oldest president and I feel like the DNC hasn't put a lot of effort into lifting up the next generation of Democrats. And I feel like they're like, if we don't run Biden, who do we run?
I mean, but really, who do they run?
Right. I hope they put a little more thought into lifting people up who are going to be the next people to run. I want to say the next generation, but like Biden is the silent generation. He's not even a boomer.
Oh, wow.
Right. I'm not being ageist at all.
Yes, you are. People are living longer, so of course we have the oldest living sitting president.
Right.
You know, they're only going to get older. Pretty soon we're going to have like a 200-year-old president.
Yeah. I mean, they keep talking about how Gen Z and millennials are becoming the largest voting bloc, and it seems like they are going to again wag their finger in our faces and tell us what to do rather than inspire these generations to vote.
Quit being such a whiny millennial.
I know, right? Sorry. The opinions expressed here on Provincetown are only that of ours.
You almost said that right.
Yeah. I'll just say one more thing. It's just so, like, everyone's like, the boomers are the most reliable voting bloc. They get out and vote. And it's like, okay, then great. Continue relying on them and allow that to happen and then inspire the other people to vote. Why are you saying they're reliable and that's why we're giving them what they want? If they're reliable, you don't really have to appease them as much.
Well, the people that show up to vote are the ones that get their way. And like even at our town meeting a couple of weeks ago, if you looked across that room, whiteheads, the entire room.
Who's being ageist now?
It's not ageist. I'm just saying everybody that showed up to vote was probably a boomer, you know?
Right, but I mean, Provincetown also has one of the highest average ages in the state. I think our average age.
America.
Yeah, our average age is 60 here in Provincetown. The state's average age is under 40.
I'm still a baby gay in Provincetown.
Yeah, I mean, every time we go to town meeting, we're called young people. I'm like, I'm practically middle-aged.
Middle-aged is young here. The moral of
Let's
the
move
story
on before
is,
we get fully canceled.
The moral of the story is show up and vote.
Yes,
like
exactly,
you have to show
exactly.
up, participate in your civic duty.
And even if you don't have the opportunity to get exactly what you want, get as close as you can.
Make yourself heard.
Stay involved.
Without cursing at the mic.
Yeah. Other candidates who are probably throwing their hat into the ring to run for president was in the news this week. Ron DeSantis. He's being sued by Disney. We've been talking about it for over a year since the Don't Say Gay bill. Disney is suing DeSantis for a targeted campaign of government retaliation orchestrated to punish Disney for their protected free speech. This basically all began over the Reedy Creek District, which is a special district in the state of Florida, which is basically run by Disney. It's almost like separate from government. It's basically when they initially had Disney World in Anaheim, and they Disneyland in Anaheim, and they didn't like the fact that other businesses were able to kind of encroach upon it. They didn't want you to step outside Disney and see chain restaurants and fast food joints and cheap motels. So basically when they moved to Florida, they made this agreement that they would be able to control all the public services and basically control what was going to be around them, which is why you have downtown Disney, things like that.
Like Disneytown, their own little
little
kinda.
And basically after they spoke out against the Don't Say Gay bill, DeSantis wanted to dissolve the Reedy Creek districts and basically did. He wanted to dissolve it and appoint a new board, which is called the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District Board of Supervisors.
It's a mouthful.
And the second he did that, Disney filed suit literally minutes later. If you look at they were ready. But basically, the board that they replaced made a bunch of decisions and votes, which basically made the new board powerless. And so it's becoming contentious down there.
One piece of advice for Disney, I would sue for $787.5 million.
Oh.
That should be the new number now.
I love that.
Right.
Yeah. In other bad news for Florida, in an interview yesterday, Dwayne Wade was being interviewed and he was talking about Florida and he's like, oh, no one really knows this, but I decided to leave Florida because my family isn't welcome or safe there because he has a trans child. So everyone's jumping ship, it seems.
Come here, Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle
Yeah.
Union.
You can be on the Celtics. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Right.
Yeah. A little bit more political news. In the Montana House of Representatives this past week, a trans legislator was basically entirely silenced. When she was speaking out against an anti-trans bill, she said that if Republicans looked down, if they nodded their head, they would see blood on their hands. And when she was asked to take back that statement, and she said, no, it's true. She's like, every medical association in the country agrees with me that access to to gender affirming healthcare stops suicide in youth. So she's like, it's a fact, it's true, I'm not taking it back. And then when her supporters encouraged her to let her speak, she lifted her mic, which then broke even more rules, and they basically said she couldn't even come. Like, she couldn't be in the building anymore.
Right.
So this comes on the heels of Tennessee removing 3 representatives from their state house, which had supported students in protesting for common sense gun laws. So it's not looking good that Republicans are silencing Democratic voices for like these tiny infractions.
They will use parliamentary procedure to silence you.
Yeah.
By any means necessary.
Okay, so now some pop culture news. There were a few deaths in the news this past week. Dame Edna had passed away. So it's Australian comedian and actor Barry Humphries, and he is most known for his drag character, Dame Edna Everage. She had a show on NBC through the 90s. She's known for her catchphrase, "Hello, possums." I'm not quite familiar with Dame Edna, but I love that catchphrase. And also her lavender hair and rhinestone glasses. She died aged 89. Also, Jerry Springer passed away yesterday.
Another colleague.
All colleagues in the news this week.
I know.
But Jerry Springer was kind of I don't know if it's the best representation, but there were some of the first instances of trans people being on television was on Jerry Springer, and I'm sure it wasn't the best representation, but just being exposed to the fact that these people exist.
Nothing on Jerry Springer was the best representation of
No,
anything.
exactly. It was kind of the lowest of low.
Except like how to throw a chair. That was represented pretty well.
Yeah,
in
I
Jerry
did learn
Springer.
that. Jerry. There's also a rock opera based on Jerry Springer,
Yes.
which I hope gets some fresh runs this off of this news.
He was also a mayor of Cincinnati too.
What?
You didn't know Jerry Springer was the mayor?
I
of
guess I
Cincinnati?
did learn. I knew I kept saying that he was a politician as I was looking up information about him, but I didn't quite get that far.
Yep.
Interesting.
He contributed, for better or worse.
A little bit of TV news. So the second drag race ended this past week. Like moments later, they released the promo for the next season of All Stars. Last season of All Stars was an all-winner season. It's back to kind of regular All Stars, and I would say it's the farthest from all winners that we could get for an All Stars season.
Wow.
I think 3 or 4 of the girls on this season of All Stars went home first on their season, and I'm not saying that some of them are truly incredible queens, and they've definitely proved that since, so I'm excited to see them get another chance to get on TV. But one thing I noticed that I thought was really fun as I was looking at I was watching the Meet the Queens videos, which is them kind of reintroducing themselves, is on a season of Drag Race, your confessional look kind of becomes iconic as much as your drag looks because you're forced to wear the same outfit for your confessionals throughout the entire season. It's basically so that the editors can use anything you say and any time and at any point in, like you could say something after the final episode that they'll use in the first episode because you're wearing the same clothes, there's no like continuity. And so a lot of queens will be really thoughtful about what they wear in their confessionals and pull out the looks, and Mrs. Kasha Davis definitely did. I noticed it right away. She had on this beautiful shirt that had like these pastel bows on it, and it's actually a shirt I own. I bought it in 2017 at our very own Seaplane. Before Seaplane was a store here in Provincetown, I went and checked out their boutique on Palm Canyon in Palm Springs, and I bought that very shirt. So I love seeing some vintage Seaplane on Drag Race. And I wonder if Seaplane even knows. I'm gonna reach out.
They know now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so.
I still have that shirt somewhere?
Yeah, I was gonna wear it today, but apparently it only fits when I've got my summer body going. I went to put it on this morning, I was like, oh! Oh no. Whoops. I'll wear it soon.
The summer bodies are coming back.
Exactly.
What did you say? Give up carbs for 2 weeks? Poof, magic.
Skinny legend. I'm not endorsing that. My sister's a dietitian and she would kill me if she knew what I was doing.
Well, she doesn't have to endorse it, but it works.
Right. Other TV news, you remember last year, this show basically became an And Just Like That review show. They just announced the new trailer for And Just Like That Season 2, and I think the most notable thing about it is Aiden is back. Yeah, so Mr. Big, who is Carrie's main love interest throughout the series, died in the first or second episode of Season 1, and they are reintroducing Aiden, which was kind of her, like, the second most important love interest of the original Sex and the City series. I'm interested to see how it comes back. All the news around it is like everyone's least favorite show that they won't stop watching. And it is kind of that. I watch it and I'm like, this is kind of terrible, but I'll never stop.
I know.
I want to see these 4 women in the nursing home in 30 years. I want to ageist.
No, 3 women.
Oh, right.
Samantha's not on the show anymore.
I thought you were saying in 3 years. I was like, damn, Bob. Fuck. But I'm excited to watch, obviously. And
If you want to make the show better, bring back Kim Cattrall. It will never happen in a million years.
Yeah.
But
I'm trying to oh no, I was gonna say bring back Kristen Johnston, but she fell out a window in the original Sex and the City. Bring her back.
from the dead.
They didn't say that she died.
They were like 20 stories up.
Yeah, I guess that's probably, definitely.
Let's
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah, I think that's all the news I've got. I do have one more announcement. We kind of teased it last week unexpectedly.
Megan ruined
Megan
your
let the cat
announcement.
out of the bag, I guess. But I picked up my script for The Fantastics yesterday. I wanted to announce that I'm going to be playing Matt in the Provincetown Theater's production of The Fantastics throughout this summer. Yeah. back on the stage after about 10 years in musical theater. Obviously, I've performed around town a bit, but it's been quite some time since I've done musical theater. I used to do so much of it, and I'm super excited to get back on the stage. And this is a really special production of The Fantastics. If you don't know The Fantastics, it's the longest running New York show of all time. Take that, Phantom. Phantom is the longest running Broadway show of all time. The Fantastics ran off Broadway, I want to say from the 70s up until like fairly recently. It is a very small cast production. It's basically about these two young people falling in love. Their parents kind of orchestrate this plan. Their fathers orchestrate this plan to make this young woman and this young man fall in love. And it is an updated version. Tom Jones himself updated the script for this special production. This is the second time this type of production has been done in the United States. It's the East Coast premiere. Instead of being a young boy and girl falling in love and their fathers orchestrating the plan, it has been rewritten to be two young men falling in love, and instead of fathers, they will be mothers.
Two mothers and their gay sons.
Yeah.
Oh, I
I'm
love
really
it.
excited. The script is really incredible. The music is timeless. I'm sure even if you're like, oh, I don't know The Fantastics, there are definitely songs that you know.
What is your big number?
I would say the big number is probably the duet between the young lovers called Soon It's Gonna Rain, which you probably know. And then there's the main song I feel like most people would know is Try to Remember. I think it was like a radio hit in the 70s. Try to remember a time in September. But I'm really excited to get your tickets now. It's going to be running July and August, Monday through Thursday at the Provincetown Theater. Tickets are live. I've heard sales are already doing pretty well this early, and I hope that there will be a bump right now.
Who plays the moms and who plays the other lover?
I'm not sure who plays my mother, I was told, but I don't think it's a person that I know. Megan from last week plays the other boy's mom, not my mom, and the other boy who is I'm playing Matt, who is the boy in the original production. And then Louisa has been rewritten as Louis, and that's going to be played by Peter Toto, who is a new employee of the Provincetown Theater.
I love Peter Toto. He directed my 24-hour play.
Oh, no way, I didn't.
Yes. He's a
that
very
together.
talented actor, singer, director,
Yeah.
all of it. Theater
Very excited to
professional.
work with everyone, very excited to work with David Drake. It's going to be killer.
And now we have to go to an interview that I did with. The other day, I got to sit down with Steve Carey, who owns the women's clothing store Wardrobe. They're entering their 17th season in that location. Steve is like a legendary P-Town personality. I love him so much, and I had so much fun talking to him. Please enjoy this, you guys.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. I'm hanging out with Stephen Carey at his ladies' fashion shop Wardrobe, which is entering its 17th season here
Yes.
in this location. Since 2007, Steve's been in here. Before that, you were down the street at Lady Z.
Yes. Where Chameleon was for the last 10 years. How many years? Yeah. And I took this over in 07. Yeah.
Nice.
And I had a vintage clothing store there.
Mm-hmm.
And started bringing in some new clothing and mixed the two together, the new and the vintage. And it worked well with the new clothing. And then also, I also had drag there. I had boas and wigs and high heels and everything, drag wear, And then when I moved here, I decided to go with all new clothing, women's clothing. And it worked really well.
And art as well.
Art, of course, yeah. Art, too. Always have to have some art. It's Provincetown, right? In our colony, right? Oh.
When was your first trip to Provincetown?
I came in 1981 for Memorial Day weekend with some friends from Springfield, and that's where I'm from. And it was great. I had so much fun. I decided to stay for the summer. And I was staying with friends, and next door was some other friends of theirs, and this guy was there, Bob, and he wanted to stay on for the summer too. So I found a place for us. It was $50 a week, but it had 2 bunk beds, and it was a little teeny tiny little space. You could stir the soup from the bed. It was so tight, and it was fun. It was fun, and he was from Pennsylvania, and he had a big Italian family, so he invited the mother and the aunt down to visit. Of course, we had to give the beds up for them, and we had to sleep on the floor, But it was very tight, and it was fun because they made all the, Italian food, the lasagna and the and all that stuff. So that was really good. And,
Were you on the top bunk or the bottom bunk?
Oh, I was the bottom, yeah.
Because I did one summer in a bunk bed roommate situation, 2007.
Yeah.
202B Bradford Street, and I was the top. And Josh is like 6'7", and his feet he couldn't even fit on the bunk. So like I feel like that's such a classic like Provincetown way to live when you're young, like sharing a bunk bed.
Oh, absolutely. These were not real bunk beds. These were like made with with plywood and just thrown together. They weren't real bunk beds. Trust me, it was Provincetown.
How much time did you spend at home anyway back then?
Not too much. Not too much. I worked at the A&P as a cashier, and that was fun.
Before the scanners.
Yeah, that's when it was on Conwell Street.
Mm-hmm.
We had those big old registers with a million buttons you had to hit. It was crazy. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
And the demographics were really different back then. It was a lot of French Canadian people living and working in
Yes,
town.
a lot of people came from Montreal for the summer down to work. So there were a lot of French-speaking people that didn't really speak that much English, actually, But they were fabulous. I mean, they dressed up like high fashion, They were wearing stiletto high heels and ruffled mini skirts and black bomber leather jackets, and they had great asymmetrical haircuts and, the red lipstick, and they were really cool people. And the guys were really cool. They had their hair dyed black with hanging in their eyes, with tight jeans and pointy black shoes and ripped t-shirts, and 80s stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah, they were really cool.
And you were spending a lot of time in New York back then too?
Yes, I was going to New York City, yep. And I actually moved there in 83
Okay.
for till 1990, yeah.
And how long have you been calling Provincetown home year-round?
Year-round since 06.
I will say this. My first memory of you is you performing at Showgirls as Phyllis Diller.
Oh, yeah.
Which, if you never saw it, I mean, I don't know if you're going to get an opportunity to, but I loved it. I thought it was so hilarious.
The first time I performed as Phyllis Diller, this is so funny. Ryan Landry's like, oh, you got to come just do Phyllis Diller tonight. You know what I mean? You know how Ryan is. He's so fun and everything, So I go down he goes, come on and we'll rehearse. So I get there. I have like cue cards, okay, to remember the jokes at the time. And it's just Ryan and Margaret Cho. I'm like, wait a minute, how can I do this? This is crazy. I've never performed in my life. So Margaret Cho and Ryan Landry were showing me how to perform and do the comedy and the laugh and the whole thing, and it was great. A lot of fun, yeah.
And your drag name is Ladyfingers?
Yes,
Where did that come
Ladyfingers.
from?
Ryan Landry and John Dowd named me Ladyfingers at Spiritus one night. Yeah, because I would dress in drag a lot, and they said I was very elegant and very ladylike.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of like a lady finger, Ryan Landry said. So that's how it started.
And then it sticks.
Yep.
And you also, I mean, if anybody saw the Mae West play last year at the theater, this was Mae West.
The drag, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wonderful. David Drake is great. He's a wonderful director at the Provincetown Theater. And we had a great cast. I mean, they were really great to work with. Amazing.
That was your first acting role?
First acting ever in my life, yes. And it was kind of like a Phyllis Diller thing because there were jokes, and they were similar to Phyllis Diller.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, sort of shtick, you know what I mean? And I did it with William, who was my partner in the play. William Mullen, yep. And it was really a lot of fun, and I sang a song and everything. It was with the gang. It was fun. It was a good time.
Are we going to get to see you perform with Space Pussy this summer?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
So I didn't know this, but tell them about your Space Pussy bit, the cereal boxes.
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, I used to perform with Mark, Sharon Needles here. And we used to go up to, I didn't perform with them, but we went up together up Cape to these straight bars in, I don't even know where they were. I don't even remember the name or anything, but it was like 30 years ago.
Yep.
And it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. And I would do Ryan would just, because I'm not a singer really, so I would just yell names out, and I would do cereal. I'd have little cereal boxes, and I'd throw the cereal all over everybody, and I'd say Rice Krispies, Special K, whatever,
And just throw it into the
Throw it
crowd?
into the audience, yeah, and yeah, it was
people are
fun.
just like catching
Everybody's
cereal
eating
in
it.
their mouth.
Everybody's like, especially the big box of Special K that was this big. They would go crazy for that.
The
Yeah.
straight bar would let you do that?
I know. I know, it was crazy.
Oh my god! Anytime
Yeah,
I
it was-
ever tried to throw something at Showgirls, Mark would yell at me.
No kidding. They don't let me throw stuff anymore. But yeah, yeah. And then I would do the first ladies, like the first ladies of the country, of the U.S.
Just shouting out their
Lady
names.
Bird Johnson and Abigail. Was it Abigail Johnson? I don't even remember all the names. Jacqueline Kennedy, and all that stuff. It was fun.
Abigail Adams, right?
What?
Isn't it Abigail
Is it
Adams?
Abigail
I think it's
Adams?
Abigail
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe. yeah, that might have been it.
I'm terrible at history, but
But that was fun. But I would dress as Mary Todd Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
I'd wear that whole look with the braids on the side of the head and the severe black hair and the gown black with the whole Civil War kind of look, And then I've dressed as Queen Elizabeth I too, and I won the Queen of Carnival parade back in that was in 1995, I think. Yeah, 95, 96. Yeah.
And
that
as
was
much
fun.
as you've watched Provincetown change since 1981, like, what about it stays the same for you? Like, what keeps you here?
I don't know. I think it's better than ever. It's amazing,
That is really good to hear. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, I really do. I think it's even more fun now than ever.
See? I love that you said that. Thank you.
And the younger kids come here, 20 years old, from New York to visit
Mm-hmm.
for the weekend like I did, and they end up staying because they love Provincetown more than New York. There's more fun things to do here, and they have a community.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding that I talk to them and I hear that from them,
I
the New
love
York
that.
life isn't as great as it used to be, I don't think,
Yeah.
They seem to have more fun here,
But
and
to
it's
come
great.
for
I
a
think it's
weekend and
wonderful.
stay for,
Stay for the whole summer,
40
yeah.
years, really.
40 years,
I mean,
you're right. I did live in New York City for a few years there, about 8 years. But yeah, no, it's great. And this is the home now,
Mhm.
So,
Well, thanks for sticking around and sharing a couple of minutes with us.
all right.
Come say hi to Steve at Wardrobe. What's the address here?
213 Commercial Street,
Are you open every day now?
every day, 12 to 6, yep.
Excellent. Yeah, pop in and say hi.
Yep.
We'll see you guys
All
soon.
right. Thank you.
Go into Wardrobe and sit and talk with Steve. He's got some really amazing stories. I loved seeing those pictures of him as Queen Elizabeth and Phyllis Diller.
Oh my god, I love that.
Do you know who Phyllis Diller is?
Of course.
Like, he used to do the laugh so perfectly at Showgirls. I don't know if you ever saw him there do that.
Yes,
Remember? It was so good. You guys, please welcome to the show our friend Bill Docker, who is the founder of Friends of Provincetown Parks and Gardens.
Thank you for saying that correctly. Friends of Provincetown Parks and Gardens with a little .org at the end of it. You can find us online. You can Google us, Facebook, Instagram, and our website. Please go to our website, www.friendsofprovincetownparksandgardens.org. We really should have come up with a shorter name, but that was it.
A cute acronym.
This is going to be your first summer,
FOPPG,
right?
but
Love it.
The first full year of this.
first full year. It was just an idea 18 months ago. You probably know, some of you might recognize me, some of your viewers, from being on the landscape committee and beautification committee for a decade. I was about to get termed off, and I was sitting thinking, why doesn't Provincetown have a Friends of Parks and Gardens group? There are like 400 of them around the country. They help to raise money, do programming, have volunteers. So I did some research, started one, and here we are, and it's like blast off. This is our first season, doing 5 different programs this coming summer.
Wow.
2 are behind us. 1 is coming up on Saturday, tomorrow. I want to tell you all about it and all of your viewers. Gardening nurtures our soul. Nature nurtures, and it's important for us to nurture it back, So tomorrow we have Nat Hall Taylor from Wellfleet. He's coming. He's an expert in bird pollinating. Birds, bees, butterflies, and pollinating your garden are a really important part of our whole ecosystem. He's going to come and teach us how to do that, whether you have a meadow, a backyard, or just some pots on a deck. how to attract them to your backyard and be good back to nature like it is to us. So that'll be at the Commons at 1 o'clock from 1 to 3 tomorrow afternoon. Saturday the 29th, I think tomorrow is. I know you were getting
Yes,
confused
I
on
know.
dates earlier. Like this time of
Drag
year,
him.
every day is the same.
Yeah.
It's busy. So we have that coming up tomorrow, and you've already missed, we had a great one at the Commons a couple of weeks ago. We started with soil. Soil is the most important component of a garden other than your favorite fruits and vegetables, and I did bring some sunflower seeds for you today.
God,
I
thank
you.
you.
Can fight over who gets what. No, I brought 2.
Oh, these are pretty. I want these
And then
ones.
did you like beans?
Oh, I love
love
beans.
beans.
Well,
The beans?
The special beans.
The special bean. My dad put me in charge of the green beans when I was like this high.
Aw.
I don't even remember, but I've always loved to grow green
Oh my
beans.
God.
So
Do you
there
want green beans?
go.
I do.
Perfect. I'll take these
Yeah,
sunflowers.
so the first program we had was on soil, and it's all part of our Green Thumb Garden Learning Program. We're here to teach gardeners. I think a lot of your listeners and your viewers want to learn how to garden. Some of you really know how to garden, so we are going to be bringing in master gardeners over the next year or so to teach some classes. And gardening is fun. Look at this time of year. I mean, everything is sprouting up and there's life back in the air, positivity. And so we're happy to be a part of it. And you can help support us like our sponsors and our donors do. We have so many great collaborators. This Provincetown Brewing Company was a collaborator. The Commons is. You go to our website, you can see all of the collaborations. We're trying to break down the walls of all the different groups in Provincetown that work on the same thing. So we would be a place where you can go learn about the Conservation Trust and all of their trails, the Landscape Committee and the beautiful parks that they have, and the Recreation Department and the kids' parks. There's so much here in Provincetown to nurture us.
I'm so excited to hear that you did one on soil, because when I moved into my apartment 8 years ago, it was nothing but sand. It's tough in Provincetown. We're living on a dune, so me and my mother had spent years, like every year, we're like, what can we do to get really great nutrients into the soil? So it's important around here.
It's super important, and to keep renutriating, or whatever the word
Right,
is.
renutriating. We'll go with that.
Your soil every single year.
Yeah.
And you can do, I'm not going to give a class on it today because we only have a few minutes. But come to our program next year. I think we're going to be doing encore presentations next year because everybody wants to know more and more and more. Couple more plugs if I could.
Of course.
One is going to be on our floral arrangement. What do you do with all these gorgeous garden flowers that you have? Bring them down to the Commons. We haven't set the date yet. We're still working with 2 different florists. One is an avant-garde, out there florist. The other is a more traditional here in town of how to create beautiful bouquets, and you'll take them home in your vase or your vase, whichever.
Really cool.
We have another one I'm really excited about. My passion is to teach kids how to garden. And so next Tuesday, we're working with the Recreation Department and the Unitarian Universalist Meeting House, and we're going to do a kids program out at
Really
Montefield.
cool.
Nice.
And so we have little plants started, and then we bought some plants. So we're going to give them all little shovels, have them plant a seed, take it home, and hopefully we'll be growing some new gardeners in the future.
This
that's so
upcoming
cute.
Tuesday?
This upcoming Tuesday, it's over at Montefield. I don't know if it's a public event or if it's a private event. I was just told, will you buy all the stuff so that we can teach the kids how to garden? I said yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So, important to thank our sponsors, our volunteers. We have more and more volunteers who are showing up all the time. Thank you. And PPRTA and the Commons really have been our, PPRTA and the Compact have been our backbone.
Cool.
Jake Ridgely has provided all the background organization for us to get up and running this first year, and PPRTA has supported us with a 3-year funding program, but we still need sponsors, we still need donors, because these programs ain't cheap.
I hear
I'm finding
ya.
out.
Yeah.
So, Sign up. You'll get our email, our newsletters, and we have our other programs coming. Oh, the last one I wanted to mention is about with the library, the collaboration with the library. Amy Raff, who you interviewed before, she's setting up a seed catalog. Truro, Wellfleet has them, and we're going to be teaching your viewers how to save your seeds, store your seeds. They'll catalog them, and then they can be put into use the following year.
Oh, wow.
So we'll be doing that in the fall with our Green Thumb Bonsai program.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You got so much cool stuff going
That's
on.
I know. What was supposed to be my retirement is turned into like so fun.
That's
so
fun though,
exciting.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So go see him on Saturday, tomorrow at 1 o'clock at the
Yeah.
Commons.
Thanks so much for coming in and chatting with
Oh,
us. And thanks for the
Thank you.
seeds.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah, let's head it over to our weather girl, Ann Hutchinson. She's got some good news for you.
Hello everyone, I'm back on the trail of the weather, and I really need to find out where the weather is going this weekend, because this weekend my tours for the season are being offered again, and I want to be ready to answer any questions that my guests have. So, where the weather is going? I think it's going out the outfall pipe here. I'm not sure, so we're going to do a swab and just make sure there's a little, we use science on Wake Up in Provincetown. We're gonna do a swab and then just bring that back to the brewery and see if they can find some weather on that. And if you can't find any weather on it, well, you can use it as a culture for the next asphalt glitter brew. Nothing like the viscosity of a sweet, fresh spring rain on the asphalt. Anyways, this year on my tour, clearly we'll be doing some new sites. Infamously last year, and to much avail on TripAdvisor, I showed people the pump station behind the tourism office, and as someone who gives a holistic view of Provincetown's history, I thought I'd show people where that water gets pumped, or something like that. I'm not really sure what this drain is for. It could be how they get drunk people out of the Crown and Anchor pool, I'm not sure, but on that note, it's a perfect site for me because I'll be starting my tours at the Crown and Anchor this season. So what we'll do is we'll start there, we'll walk out here to the outfall pipe and talk about some of Provincetown's greatest historical events, like the Great Sewer Emergency of 2022, the Great Sewer Emergency of 2009, and how Commercial Street was one of the first main streets in Massachusetts to use porous asphalt. All right, anyways, all right, how far away is Outer Cape? I need to swab myself.
Thank you so much, Anne. And now, fresh from Seth's Talent Showcase in New York City, we've got our hometown favorite, CJ Brooke, with a really special performance for you. Take it away.
It's like a storm that cuts a path. It brings your will. It feels like that. You think you're lost, but you're not lost on your own. You're not alone. I will stand by you. I will help you through. When you've done all you can do, you can go. I will dry your eyes. I will fight your fight. I will hold you tight, and I won't let go. will stand by you. I will help you through. When you've done all you can do, and you can't come, I will dry your eyes. I will fight your fight. I will hold you tight, and I won't let go. Oh, I'm gonna hold you, and I won't let go. Won't let you go. No, I won't.
Great job, CJ.
Thank you, thank you.
Where can we see you coming up?
You will see me coming up for the Run to Home Base on July 22nd at Boston, Massachusetts. It's through the Run to Home Base, which helps veterans with the invisible wounds of PTSD. I am raising $2,500 to go towards this great cause, and this is my third year doing it, so I'm excited to do it again.
I'm excited to see that. Yeah. Thanks so much for coming in today.
Of course, anytime.
We've got a little clip. So one of our producers, Andrew Haig, is out of town at the moment. He's in Boston ahead of a really incredible performance that that's going on tonight. We have a little clip. It's happening tonight at Jordan Hall at the Berklee College of Music, and he's going to tell you a little about it right now.
Your challenge to me was try to combine the electronic music world that I live in with the choral music world that I lived in when I was one of these chamber singers.
Right.
It feels very fresh in the sense that I've never seen or heard anything that's quite like this.
I deeply believe this is the next evolution, the next new genre, if you will,
I think so.
for the growth of choral music.
There's such a split between like the stodginess and stuffiness of tucks or tails and then, you know, house party, if you will.
Right.
I don't want this to feel like you have to just sit there quietly and then clap at the end. Like, be a part of it.
It's immersive in every way.
Yeah. Hearing a house beat on the Jordan Hall stage is
It's unreal.
surreal.
It's
surreal.
It is amazing.
There's something really exciting happening, and I hope that people get on board. I hope people would come and show
Come,
up for us.
be a part of it.
Yeah, honestly, this is not going to be. There's not going to be a second time.
Nope.
In Boston tonight, go see Andrew tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It
We would be
sounds
there if we
really
could.
interesting. Yeah.
Please welcome to the show our friend Denise Page. Denise, thanks for making some time to come here and chat about Casey Sanderson.
Thanks for having
So Casey was, I knew him as like a piano man in town, loved music, grew up here. Unfortunately, we lost him in September. Can you tell us a little bit about your relationship with him?
Sure. I grew up in town also, so Casey and I, he was a couple years older than me, although he would be really mad at me, I think, if I was admitting that on camera, but here we are. Anyway, we went to the actual Provincetown High School. He graduated in 95 and I graduated in 97. We met, I remember, in middle school, and he has always been a gifted musician. Like any instrument, he could just pick it up and play it. When, as we got older and he went to college for music, he ended up coming back. He was teaching at the school for a long time, but through my music career and through all my theater stuff, we have always been together. We, as adults, we performed at the Crown and Anchor. I think that you might have been working there back then too. We had one summer there, we did show tunes for a few hours, and then we did the Porch Bar up at the Gifford House. We did stuff at church, at the Methodist church, at the Catholic church, funerals, weddings, just all sorts of stuff. He played at my first wedding, and we had been long friends, although sometimes running in different circles, but music always kind of brought us together. And he was involved in a number of productions at the Provincetown Theater, at Theaters Up Cape, at Monomoy, at the Orleans APA. I mean, it's just kind of, there's probably not too many places on the Cape that Casey hasn't somehow been involved in musically, either behind the scenes or on stage, or helping with sound, or just, and he's helped a lot of people in town, whether it's students. I think CJ might have been one of his students at one point. So, I mean, there's a lot of talent that has somehow been involved in with Casey's hands in that. So, yeah, it's a real bummer that he is gone. However, Susan Grilly, who was in charge of Counter Productions, which did a lot of shows here quite a while ago, she's really been instrumental in developing with Jim Dalglish and Linda Sterner and a few other local people this Casey Sanderson Memorial Scholarship Fund, which I'm so excited about as one of Casey's dear, dear friends and someone who really believes that his memory and legacy really should live on because of not just his talent, but just how instrumental he's been in so much that, like, the music underlings in town. This scholarship will be for students of Provincetown and Truro, and for music students of Provincetown and Truro. So if someone needs help paying for instrumental lessons or voice lessons, or just a whole myriad of reasons why you might need a scholarship fund, we're having it's being made. So there's an online auction, and businesses in town have made donations toward that, and that's happening live. I think the auction ends May 15th, which will be a few days before this event, which will be May 20th at the Fisherman's Hall, which is the old high school auditorium, now the actual school auditorium. And there'll be a bunch of different people coming to perform. CJ will be there, I'll be there, Linda Sterner, Sally Ty, Bo Jacket, I'm sure I'm missing some people. One of his dear friends, Kendra Whiffen, who is a college person. Mark Meehan will be there, and Halcyon Hurst, and Cheryl Tasha. I'm sure I'm like naming all the people. I'm sure I'm missing someone, but it'll be a bunch of different people there performing and seeking, the help from. So we're hoping it'll be a good time for people, and also a way to kind of celebrate Casey and help Casey continue to give back to the community that he really loved.
It sounds like the scholarship is just continuing his mission of sharing music, encouraging young people to learn and grow within music. So really incredible work putting this together.
It's really exciting. I know he'd be really proud of what's happening, and I think, and that makes me happy. So I'm trying not to get emotional when I talk about this, but anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming and sharing that. Where can people see the online auction right now?
I thank you for asking that question. There is a website, https CaseySanderson.bpt, B like boy, P like Peter, T like Tom, .me, M like Michael, E like Echo. If you go to that website, that can take you to a link for the online auction, a link for the donation site, and you can buy tickets to the event on May 20th, which I think is from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I think I neglected the time. So it's early for anyone who might not be a late nighter or who has another event to get to later on in the evening. So please come. We hope to see you there and help support what should be a really special thing going forward.
May 20th.
May 20th.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's really
Thank you,
special.
guys. Thank you.
Before we head out, one more thing I forgot to mention earlier. There's the Foster Kindness event. It's going to be at Mata Field on May 2nd from 3 to 5. It's going to be all ages kickball games, snacks, and prizes. And this goes to the Foster Care Appreciation Day. So be sure to check that out on May 2nd, 3 to 5 at Mata Field.
Thanks for watching, you guys.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for tuning in to our Candidates Forum last night. If you hadn't got a chance to check that out, it's still up on our YouTube page. Thank you to all our guests today, and thank you to our sponsors, the Crown and Anchor, Provincetown Brewing Company, the Boat Slip, Shipwreck at the Brass Key, the Provincetown Business Guild.
There you go.
Yes!
Come see us this weekend at the Red Inn.
Yeah.
And thanks for waking up at Provincetown.
Wherever you are. We'll see you
next
soon.
Friday.